This is a preview for my story in Tales from Deranged Minds. Effie, Rhett said, laughing while Effie took video with the camera strapped to her chest. Rhett had one also, but he never had his on while he was driving. Have you ever been to Orkney, Utah? Effie laughed. She had been laughing at that name for days now, and right now, she was really stoned, which made it more funny. That's the next town on the list, Rhett said to the viewers. The couple adventured all over the American Southwest, Arizona, Utah, Nevada, New Mexico, and even parts of Colorado. They were very avid weed smokers and space cruisers. They made a decent living out of it, and a lot of people watched their videos online. Both of them felt very good as they weaved the windy road of the Red Rock Canyon. Rhett loved the way the weed brought out the beauty of nature. Also, their viewers enjoyed the way interesting places were narrated by goofy commentators. Each of their weekly uploads got thousands of views.
How much longer until we get there?
Effie asked as the giggle fit subsided.
I can't wait to see this place.
I think about 5 minutes out of the canyon, Rhett answered. I love how excited you get. Should be there in less than 15 minutes.
Is it true that they auctioned women to Bigfoots?
Rhett loved the silly way she asked questions. No, that's Elwood, babe, Rhett answered. That's south of here, somewhere in the Echo Forest. Orkney is where the family went crazy and killed everyone else in town. Effie looked confused. Remember, it was the two brothers, their wives, and like 7 kids?
It was like 50 people,
Effie scrunched her face, trying to remember everything.
and they went house to house on Christmas Eve?
That's the one. Rhett was so proud. When he met Effie, she didn't know much about historical stuff, both real and fairy tales. She was a fast learner and was immediately hooked. Rhett showed her the hidden gems, starting in Utah, and she loved every minute of it. They went house to house with axes, scissors, and knives in hand, family by family, house by house, room by room, and killed every person in Orkney. Nobody was safe. They started with the older, then worked their way all the way down to newborns. They were horrible people.
Oh no.
Effie sounded genuinely freaked out.
Do you see what we do for the channel? That's why we appreciate all of you. Are you sure about this place, babe? That's some pretty dark stuff. It has to be haunted.
Yeah, if ghosts are real, Rhett said. They both believed, but neither had indisputable evidence. They didn't believe close to 90% of the videos online, but the rest were pretty convincing. I would say we have a good chance of bumping into something paranormal. Rhett didn't like the terrified way that she was looking at him. But we've been to haunted places, and we've never had anything hurt us, right? You got scratched in the witch's shack, but that was more scary than painful. He was right, and she knew it. Yet that did little to take the fear from her heart.
Yeah, that was scary. I think it took 10 years off my life.
Effie said, smiling, but Rhett knew that she was only partially kidding. How about this? Rhett negotiated. It's only one, so we can hang out for a while and see what happens. If you want to leave before dark, then we will. Or if you get freaked out and want to leave early, we'll leave. She considered it, then nodded.
Okay, that will be good. This place sounds pretty damn scary.
I'm sure it used to be. Rhett didn't believe a ghost could hurt someone other than a little scratch. But I'll bet when we get there, you'll see it's just another abandoned little town in the middle of nowhere. We can see what it's like when we get there, but I bet the weed and the story just got in your head. Everything's gonna be fine. They exited the canyon into the dry red dirt landscape that stretched as far as the eye could see. Hoodoos, buttes, and a number of beautiful rock formations decorated the landscape. They drove under an overpass, which was also an entrance to a freeway, onto a dirt road for about 8 minutes before they hit the Orkney town sign. The white paint declaring this place Orkney was chipped and faded. The sign was rusty, written in chip black paint, population 68. Crossed out and under it, painted in what was once probably read, 11. The look on Effie's face was the exact same way that Rhett felt in his heart, but that quickly passed. The family must have done that on Christmas Day after the massacre, making it eerie as hell. Her eyes were as round as a full moon, and her mouth hung open a bit. Blocking the town on either side of the dirt road were tall trees overgrown with weeds. Rhett could see pieces of the town, almost like seeing individual pieces to a puzzle. From what he could see, the town looked pretty run down. Rhett got very excited. "This place is great," Rhett said, halfway between joking and serious. "It's up to you. Are we getting out? I think the people would want us to go in. But if we don't, only you and I will ever know." Effie didn't like the way the trees blocked the town, but she guessed this was once a beautiful entrance to the city. She could almost see the variety of flowers where the weeds now grew. This town was giving off some serious creepy vibes, but Rhett was right. The fans would love to see this place.
This place is pretty terrifying. I don't know if it's because you got in my head or what.
"I think you're a little stoned and a lot paranoid." Rhett was the opposite. He was a lot stoned and only a little scared. This was Rhett's favorite hobby for a long time, so it was pretty hard to scare him. "You remember the Cotton Candy Cave? That place was way scarier than here. Or when we snuck into the desert by Skull Valley to spy on that facility. People say that is a Men in Black base. That's government and alien shit. This is just a little ghost town." Effie still didn't look convinced. "We don't have to go in any of the buildings, but can we please walk through the town a little?"
I'd rather drive.
Effie answered. Rhett was a little frustrated, but he didn't want to let on. They drove 6 hours to be here. He at least wanted to walk the streets.
I've got a terrible feeling about this place. It feels like eyes are already watching us. Can you feel it?
Rhett pushed his frustration aside. She was not as used to abandoned places as he was. "Girl, I really think it's just the weed and the story that has you shook. There's nothing here that hasn't been at every other place I have taken you. There are animals, probably nothing bigger than a fox, and ghosts, which can't do much other than scare you. I doubt either will bother us." Rhett gave Effie a sly and somehow haunted smile that she had never seen before. "Anyways, you sleep next to me every night, and you have no idea how bad that should scare you." Effie didn't like that.
What the hell does that mean?
She was mad, but Rhett only smiled.
Why are you trying to scare me worse?
Rhett laughed hard. "Babe," he said with raised eyebrows. "You know I'm just messing with you. We can leave if you want, but just so you know, if you were anywhere with me, you're safe. I will never let anything happen to you. How could I let something happen to my everything? I'll keep you safe." Her eyes teared up when she smiled. Effie might have just fallen in love with this handsome man. They had only been dating for 8 months. She knew she kinda loved him, but that may have just pushed her into deeper love than she had ever felt.
We can go.
She said, then grabbed his hand.
Just stay right with me and we'll have to leave before dark.
Rhett smiled. "Thanks, babe. This will be a good video to post next week. I really think people will like it. The history is scary, but you know how our viewers love it."
This is going to be the video to go viral, like the video of Jackson when he went to Safiana.
Effie hoped, but she didn't want to get chased like he did. They got out of the car. Rhett lit them a joint to share while they made their last preparations. Changing shoes. Effie loved wearing slippers in the car, but slippers wouldn't work on a presumably ruined road. It was probably cracked, and who knew what else. Rhett strapped a large hunting knife to his belt and a smaller knife around his ankle. Now out of the car, Rhett could see the barbed wire wound and tangled in the trees and weeds. It looked like a trap. Rhett smiled, then thought, I think the weed is getting to you. They made the final adjustments to their body cams, and Rhett readied his head cam. They found their viewers like to watch a red-eye view. They walked on the cracked blacktop road between the bunches of weeds on either side. Rhett was surprised the town's roads were paved after the dirt road they drove in on. Weeds were fighting the road for dominance. The weeds were trying to take back their land, while the blacktop fought to stay a part of this world. Rhett knew eventually the weeds growing through the cracks would win. This town had been empty for a couple of decades. Rhett found himself tripping a little. He never really heard what happened to the family.
What did you say happened to the family?
Rhett was shocked and wondered how the hell she did that.
I don't think you ever told me that part.
The parents were arrested and rotted in jail, Rhett lied. The kids were sent to Asylum 77. Effie cringed at the mention of that place. She even heard that the traveling circus was going to host a haunted house this October. Well, some of them were teenagers, so a couple got sentenced as adults. He wanted to make it believable, so she would stay. There is no way they could still be alive. A couple were probably lost in the foster system. One was 5 and another was 7. They did murder a couple people. Do you think a kid can come back from that? Rhett smiled. From my experience, once you kill someone, you're never the same again.
Shut up.
Effie said, laughing.
Are you sure they got arrested? I really feel like we're being watched.
Rhett could feel it too. I'm like 82.3% sure they're gone. Rhett smiled, and Effie smacked him lovingly on the shoulder. So this town is basically a big square. A road runs around the town at the edge, then there are cross streets here and there. They were standing at the crossroads. Diagonal to the right was an emergency clinic. Diagonal to the left was a car dealership and a mechanic shop. My plan was to start left and see where it goes from there, Rhett said. The neighborhood is that way, then we can make our way around the outside of the town, past the grocery store, to the gated community, and then the trailer park where the Barlow family live. I kinda want to see them last. Rhett smiled like a kid on Christmas. You know, like a grand finale. Effie loves seeing her man this excited.
That sounds like fun. Well, maybe not fun, but it sounds pretty scary. As long as you stay by me, we can go wherever you want. But are you getting the same feeling from this town? It's like the light and even the air is different. I don't know how to explain it.
I agree. Effie looked hopeful, like she wasn't imagining things. That was a terrible way to explain it. He laughed hard, although deep down he knew exactly what she meant. Like when you're washing your hair with your eyes closed and feel all 13 ghosts watching you. The feeling made sense to him because he was almost 100% sure that ghosts were watching him right now. The ghosts of an entire murdered town. That fact hit him hard in his mind. They turned left on the blacktop, which was uneven and cracked with weeds growing through most of them. Rhett took a slight detour so he could look in the mechanic shop window. It was caked with the dust of a couple decades or so. Rhett wiped some away to get a better look. The lobby was pretty standard. There was a counter with a cash register and a coffee table covered in magazines. In the far corner of the room, next to the door leading into the actual shop, lived an adorable family of raccoons. "Come look, babe," Rhett said, smiling. "You're gonna love this." He knew that this would relax Effie. And with her relaxed, maybe it would be easier for him to relax. Rhett was right. Effie was super excited, which seemed to calm at least some of her fears. She waved while the family of animals stared back at her blankly. She knocked on the window, and Rhett thought he saw a shadow shift in the back room. He guessed it was another animal living in that office, or maybe it was a storage closet. If they were lucky, it was a shadow figure, and they would get some activity for the video. Paranormal videos always got a ton of views.
Look at those babies.
Effie said. Rhett didn't know if she was talking to him or the viewers that would watch next week. Probably neither. She was most likely talking to herself.
I just want to take them all home.
She pulled out her phone and started snapping pictures through the hand-dusted window. After 5 minutes and 65 pictures, Effie said,
Bye, cuties.
as she waved, then turned to Rhett.
We shouldn't bother them anymore.
Rhett smiled because she said we. Rhett had done nothing but look through a window. She was the one that did all the bugging. Good idea, babe. He grabbed her hand as he started to walk away from the window. Effie lingered. Their arms stretched, and when their fingers were about to unlock, Effie followed. They passed by the mechanic shop parking lot, then turned right on the road. To the left were houses. Most of them had tall wooden fences, so their backyard was private. The houses were beat up, and Mother Nature had taken the front yards back. But all the fences still looked to be in fairly good shape. The once manicured lawns were now overgrown with weeds, and homes to who knows what rodents. They found a walkway between two houses leading into the neighborhood. Both had wooden porches, but neither wanted to check the sturdiness to look in a window. Behind the houses was a massive park that was perfectly manicured. The couple found that very strange. The lines on the baseball field looked fresh. The brand new nets on the soccer goals almost glowed white in the sunlight. The swings, the slides, and the big all-purpose toy equipped with bridges and walkways looked newly set up. The grass was the perfect shade of green.
How is the grass so perfect?
Effie asked in a clearly uneasy voice.
Rhett, how is it so neat? What do you guys think?
The second question would be answered by the viewers in the comment section next week. One of her favorite parts of the job was reading the comments from people all over America. Most would never get to see the places she went with Rhett. I don't know, babe, Rhett answered. He was sure that Effie would be panicked, but if she was talking to their audience, then she must be somewhat okay with this. That is pretty damn bizarre. Rhett scanned the park, which was also a beautiful backyard for 15 houses. He stopped suddenly with a start. He swore that he saw an expressionless little girl gazing at him from a kitchen window. He blinked, and she was gone.
What did you see?
Effie asked. She was much more calm than Rhett would have guessed. She had come such a long way since the two met. She used to be scared of everything. She was still scared, but the intrigue was more powerful.
Is there someone there?
No, Rhett laughed and kinda lied. He did see something, but nobody was there. The curtain on the window was twisted funny. I saw it out of the corner of my eye and thought it looked like a person. Effie laughed at him.
And you thought I was going to be the scaredy cat. Can you believe him, guys?
Rhett kept his eye on the window for a few moments. When the face didn't come back, the two moved towards the playground. What do you think of the grass and the brand new toys? Rhett asked Effie. Do you think someone is still here? He kinda did,
I don't know.
Effie answered. She seemed to be less worried than him.
Maybe ghosts keep the place clean for all their ghost kids.
She smiled. Neither believed that, but neither could explain it either. Just then, the couple watched two figures appear. One made of mist, the other a shadow, on each side of the seesaw. Red expected Effie to be terrified, but when he looked at her, she was wearing the biggest smile Rhett had ever seen on her face. That made him happy. After a few turns on the seesaw, the figures disappeared, only to reappear at the swings. The shadow child was pushing the mist child. That is pretty damn crazy. Rhett knew his camera was catching it, but he looked down just to make sure. Effie checked hers as well. Both were getting great footage. Have you ever seen anything like that in your life? Rhett asked almost breathlessly, and to nobody in particular. They disappeared, but the swing continued swinging for a few more swings. A fresh echo of laughter filled the large recreation area. Rhett knew their viewers were going to love this video. He and Effie had caught some minor paranormal activity, but never anything even close to this. Rhett watched as the children appeared at the top of the slide. The shadow slid first, followed by the mist. They disappeared again, but this time they didn't reappear. Every sliding door on all 15 houses opened, then slammed shut. Rhett was surprised the glass didn't shatter.
Holy shit, babe.
Effie said, still smiling as wide as ever.
This is our video. This is our Jackson's Torment.
Rhett couldn't have been more happy. Yeah, I think so too. That's some pretty damn clear evidence. The wreck area got silent, like horror movie silent. They waited for about 10 minutes, hoping something else would happen. Sadly, nothing did. Rhett walked around to a few of the houses so he could look in some windows. Effie followed, but she didn't care to look in any windows. Everything in the house looked like it should, neglected for 20-ish years. The appliances were run down, the paint was peeling, the floor was disgusting, and the place smelled awful. Damn, Rhett said. I hope we get some more shit like that. That was insane. I think that's the coolest thing I've ever seen. Effie agreed, and the two moved south to exit the neighborhood. Then they turned right and headed west. This has been an Afternoon in Orkney by Ray Bush. Again, this is my contribution to Tales from Deranged Minds, available on Amazon. Please tune in next week for another original story. And remember, all lost souls are welcome here.